And that was Epic Super Fail with Radar. Wow.
Shout out to my friend Chris Kirby, who's a bass player of the band. And I was so proud when I saw him in his first music video. Boy, he's all grown up.
Wow, you really you got all these bands and talk to these people, huh? And get all this permission from them.
Yeah, Facebook really has sped up the information age. It's amazing, just a few keystrokes away. Hey, you mind if we play your music on the podcast? Yeah, sure, we don't mind, and they might ask for us to plug an album or something, or they might have specific, requests on what to promote. But I mean, that's fine. So, how you been, Daniel?
I've been alright. How have you been?
Oh, I just finished two stellar books over the weekend. One is Nouns of Assemblage from Housefire Books that collects 63 different writers attacking the experimental form. Cameron Pierce is in there, as well as his wife, Kirsten Aline Pierce. And, of course, any Bizarre Vents will tell you that they are main editors at Eraserhead Press and Lazy Fascist. And also I finished Earthworm Gods 2 The Deluge, which, if there are no movie rights on the table for that have been optioned, there's huge potential there. It's written by Brian Keene, the Earthworm Gods series, and hopefully we can get Brian Keene on the podcast or interview him for the magazine sometime, because, I mean...
Oh yeah, we should, definitely.
Even friends of mine who are not that familiar with things from the Bizarro Underground, or it was released through Deadeye Press, which is run by Jeff Burke. It's an imprint of Eraserhead. Even friends who don't follow Bizarro, they know the name Brian Keene from The Rising, which he wrote about zombies. Brian Keene, I think he has a bright future, or a dark future, I guess we could say. And a lot of anthologies kept springing up. Have you noticed?
Yeah, definitely.
We've got, of course, William Cook's Fresh Fear anthology, which the deadline for that one is May 31st. They moved it up from August because of the sheer volume of submissions. Then we have Alex S. Johnson, who has begun a heavy metal anthology. Of course, there are copyright and trademark limitations on what you can write about. But of course, you can mention band names in passing, as far as I know. That's going to be run by Alex S. Johnson. There's another one out, and I don't have the information in front of me, but it deals with invisibility. Just the concept of being invisible, and in all its myriad forms, What, have you been reading anything lately, Daniel?
Oh, just in general, or about projects that are...
About anything, yeah.
Well, right now I just started reading the new, Joe Hill book, Nosferatu. Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. I'm enjoying that.
Is it succession from, is it progressive from, what he's done in the past, like Horns, Heart-Shaped Box?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely along those lines, and I like his writing style, even more so than his dad right now,
Wow.
because it's more concise, whereas, King has been rambling for his last few books a lot. It's like he says way too much that he could say in 5 or 400 pages or 200 pages even, that all his books have to be like 1,000 pages sometimes, and it's like too much.
Right. Yeah, he definitely goes overboard with the descriptions from time to time. Like, I think he spent a half a page in Salem's Lot talking about the kinds of toys that someone bought in an abandoned house on that street, where Straker and Barlow were, I think. And I mean, like, dude, about vampires. It's not about toys, you know. I mean, but yeah, he does tend to pad his books a lot. The King does. Joe Hill, there's a lot more meat there, isn't there? I mean,
yeah, it feels like it, or he just gets to the point, you know. You know, I feel like more than his dad sometimes, but I mean, obviously King is like a legend, but and you know he wouldn't exist without him clearly. But I've actually, you know, maybe it's heresy to say this to our fans, but yeah, his last few books I've been really disappointed with, King.
Well, I still feel like the Dark Tower series isn't finished. Sorry, Josh Ryan. I agree, it was a clever ending, but I still feel like there's something missing. Like maybe Roland should be able to go through the adventure next time around with the Horn of Eld. It just feels incomplete, and I can't, you know, change my opinion on that. I still love the hell out of the Dark Tower series, but I don't think that he sent the old lady who wrote him that letter asking him to finish it off on a good note. I just don't. You know?
Well, wasn't there, what was that guy, the Red King or Crimson King, right?
Yeah, and what is it? He throws Nietzsche's out the window at him.
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter. Straight out of Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, now, of course, you can skirt around the rules with the explanation of multiverses or alternate realities. But how do you explain werewolves in Doctor Doom costumes?
Yeah, that was just lazy writing right there. I was amazed that he just basically, it's like, he didn't even try to disguise it. It was just like, I'm just going to describe them as Doctor Dooms and werewolves and Sneetches and Harry Potter is written on them. And I'm like, oh my god, come on.
Now, things I did enjoy about those last few books, though, the long, detailed story that Father Callahan from Salem's Lot delivered to his new traveling companions about how he found out about the beam and all the different realities. And let's see, the community who used up the energy of children, but it destroyed their brains. I think it was called Blue Heaven.
Yeah.
They were called the Breakers, I think. That was very interesting. The deaths of Eddie, Jake, and even Little Oi. I mean, just heartbreaking. And, I mean, it wasn't all lazy writing. Just, you know, send them back to the beginning. Like, game over. I mean, and yeah, it was clever in its own way, but you got to admit that most of the villains kind of went out with a whimper, not a bang.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with the Crimson King was it was such a big build up to this guy being so all powerful and this and that, and then all he did at the end was go E, if you remember. It's just consistently E, making a screeching sound. I'm like, really? That's it? That's all he really does? That's, you know, is he makes high pitched noises and then yeah, I know. It's just to me, I wasn't satisfied with how that ended at all. I feel like, yeah, definitely there could be another book with an alternate ending, and I would be happy.
Yeah, well, the reality is getting weaker every time Roland has to go back to the beginning and repeat it over. I mean, I guess it's not out of the realm of plausibility that he could go back and write some more Dark Tower novels eventually, or maybe even hand it over to his son. Who knows? Because he did publish The Wind Through the Keyhole, which takes place between Wizard of Glass and Wolves of the Calla. I haven't even read it yet, but I do have a feeling that he does not have the Horn of Eld this time. That it's in the timeline of the original series that we read through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is sad because I think that would have been a nice twist. But I haven't read it, so I don't know. Honestly, I've been burying my nose in so many Bizarro books lately because, to me, it takes a sustained kind of focus to comprehend and begin to put together together what makes a Bizarro book, because it's not supposed to make too much sense, but at the same time, one wrong move, and it's like Jenga, the whole palace crumbles. It's a weird character in a weird situation, in a weird world, and you have to be able to juggle weirdness on such a scale, you know, like my friend Kevin Donaghy's House of Houses. I mean, it's about a sentient houses, and this guy never really knew the house he was living in, and he breaks into heaven, I guess, to track down his house and see what he didn't know about it. On its face, it sounds completely absurd, but the trick in Bizarro is to give human emotions to these absurd, flights of whimsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think nobody does that better than Cameron Pierce. But I mean, they're all very skilled at it. And Space Walrus, by the way, by Kevin Donaghy, is a really emotionally gripping read. If you can suspend your disbelief, really great. Ends sadly though.
Well, yeah, I definitely need to catch up on my Bizarro reading, but I definitely, think I'm excited for August in our old Bizarro issue to see how that comes out.
Yes, and by the way, I am on a sort of quest to deliver Gary Busey up to the Surreal Grotesque readers for the August issue. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I believe it can happen just because how much more Bizarro can it get than that? Gary Busey, who's probably never written anything in his life, not even a biography, if he just does it for the August issue, or at least an interview, something, maybe his, jackalish face on the cover, I don't know, but it's something I'm contemplating, and I hope you're on board with me for that, because it sounds intriguing. Maybe we can make it go viral, I don't know.
That's all you, man. If you really think you can do it, I have no idea. About trying to get celebrity type people. That's the whole nother thing.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. From my perspective, we already have had celebrities. As far as I'm concerned, we already have had celebrities in Bruce Taylor, who is a true veteran of the written word, if there ever was one. 900 short stories he's sitting on that he's never published. I mean, and he was just full of so much inspiration. I mean, inspiring, encouraging words. Then Matthew Avant, the director of Lunopolis. We have the cream of the crop in the Bizarro genre submitting to us 2 months early for the August issue. And I feel like we're so fortunate. And we just so sport over our heads with this, And to me, we already have had celebrities. I mean, you've interviewed John Shirley, author of Wet Bones. That was before I came along, I believe.
Yeah. I know. I've had some people that are pretty well established writers, but writers is a little bit different than trying to get just general celebrity people. I don't know. Yeah, that's.
You've interviewed Jack Ketchum. How could I forget that? That is a major score there. I just feel like if it were any other celebrity, I wouldn't stand a chance. But with Gary Busey, I feel like maybe, just maybe, it can happen. And I'm going to be looking into that. We've got plenty of time between now and August. And if nothing else, I will contribute my story to the August issue. Gary Busey Loves You, which would fit right into the Bizarro pantheon.
Well, just send him like a bucket of ass.